And I live in one of these neighborhoods that is kind of suburban. Someone named Sue living in your neighborhood? Now, ruburban and suburban, meaning like, they build these houses out in the sticks, out in, it was once ag. We once grew crops here, but now we can grow houses and make more money on the houses than we can on a can of tomatoes or whatever the crop may be, corn, almonds, whatever. So I'm walking around and it's unusual because I'm going to get the mail. And suddenly, as I go get the mail, usually it's empty. I see nobody. It feels like, do I live someplace? But this is America. Of course, I should see something, but I see no one usually. But today I see that there's a woman with her young kids, and they're getting ready to go to the beach. There's a woman and her husband, tending to their lawn, talking to a neighbor. All right, that's like 3, 4, 5 people. A guy comes up who's a fire chief for a local town, I guess coming in for lunch, and he's got signs that say "Pray for this," and he's a member of the Christian right. We respect each other. We all respect each other as neighbors, and when we see each other in these rare occasions, like here in this one spot, I see like 7 people. As I go to the mailbox, and do I mention at all the fact that I've been up all morning, just totally immersed in the latest Trump news, that they have a hearing down in Fort Pierce about whether or not on the Mar-a-Lago documents case, when that case the trial might happen. Donald Trump wants it postponed indefinitely. The judge, Eileen Cannon, she wants it sometime in August. And the prosecutor, Jack Smith, wants it in December. And no one can agree. So I'm immersed in that, but I'm immersed also in the fact that Donald Trump has issued this Truth Social post, I guess to distract from everything. And of course, Donald Trump doesn't even show up to his own hearing. He sends Walt Nauta, the AAPI. So I'm totally immersed in this. Do I mention at all to my almost to the white neighbors that, hey, I'm watching this. What do you think? Do I engage in conversation? No. And why? Because to keep social order, we don't talk politics. I mean, I've talked about the way. Oh, it's hot. Oh, we talk about the smoke and fires. Oh, it's not as bad this year. We're not getting the Canadian smoke. Oh, we just avoid it. And this is the America we live in. And this is why you come to things like this, so you can hear people talk about it, because here you can talk about it and you don't necessarily have to talk back. You don't necessarily have to agree, but you can hear something. You can say, oh, Emil, he's full of it. Or you can say, oh, Emil, I like his point of view. But the point is, you don't have to, you feel like you can be engaged without being engaged with actual people who are around you, like your neighbors, like maybe members of your family, because you know that if you did that, you may never talk to them again. That's the way it is in America these days. And so I got my mail, mostly all bills. People want money from me, or people who want something from me. And I walk back. I say hi to everybody. Just a nod, like, this is not a conversation, just a nod. And I walk back to my home, and I'm thinking, God, well, why don't I just like go up to them and say, hey, did you see the latest about Trump? You going to quit him now? Or do I say something like, hey, no, I don't, because for civility's sake, right? They're my neighbors. I know there are some neighbors out there that they have Trump 2024 signs. Like I said, I live in the red part of the blue state. But I'm thinking, wouldn't it be nice if we could engage? But instead, it's far better just to nod, refrain, acknowledge civility, but almost forget about the fact that we have real feelings about what's going on in our country. We just don't express it to each other. And we should. That's a healthy democracy, but we have an unhealthy democracy. We have we have representatives going out there and shouting for us. So we figure let them do it. But no, we got to get engaged too. Oh, well, we'll vote. Well, some of us do, and some of us don't. But it means that if you are in the don't category, you better do. I mean, this is the way of democracy now. And the discourse is all, you could say, oh, you can watch too much news. You can watch too much stuff on cable or on radio. You can read too much. You can never really read too much. You got to be informed. But the point is, we find ourselves going to our little silos and never going back to our homes in our suburban communities, not talking to one another, unless you talk to other people like yourself, right? And not a one of those people were more liberal than not Filipinos. So it's just better for the sake of social well-being to just nod and say, hey, pretty hot today. The kind of innocuous things that, it's not political rhetoric. It's not political discourse. It's not true engagement, but it's what gets us through what I call this period, the democracy recession that we're in. Because we got good news, there's a lot of good news. Inflation, 3%, almost hit the target, 2%. We got some good economic numbers, even though there's some, you can always point to some bad economic numbers to offset the good. Like in the Wall Street Journal today, they made a big deal about the F-150, the F-150, the electric F-150 truck. They're dropping it in price. And that's like in the most important story spot in the Wall Street Journal. And I guess it's because it's a signal to the corporates that, hey, sales are down. We need to spike sales. So we're going to cut our greed. Anytime you're cutting greed in the Wall Street Journal is a big deal for the people who read the Wall Street Journal. That's news. And of course, though, by the time they got that paper out to me and I got my physical paper, Ford dropping the price of the electrical F-150 truck from like 59 to 49,000. That doesn't seem like a big deal, but that's what trucks cost these days, especially EV ones. Or I guess they'd be called ETs, electrical trucks. Meaning like a battery operated Tonka? No, like a solar, or not solar, a real electric vehicle, an EV. But the news, the subtext of the news is, hey, we're big corporate America. We're willing to take less. We're being less greedy. That always is a big news story on Wall Street. We're being less greedy. Anyway, hi, everyone. It's Emil Guillermo, Emil Amok to you. This is my takeout, my Emil Amok's takeout, my takes on all things considerable. Just talking about like stuff like just this morning. I'm here Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific. I was going to hold off because I have some things that I'm following other than this Trump nonsense. I'm following also this other thing in Florida where ALDEF, the Asian American Legal Defense and Education Fund, is arguing on behalf of Chinese people here in America and others who want to purchase land but are restricted by these very restrictive laws that were passed by Governor Ron DeSantis. It's just the beginning of all his woke stuff that he's coming up with. But ALDEF and others, the ACLU most notably, joined in, are trying to stop those laws. They would have been on the books as of July 1st, but now there's the first hearing today. I'm going to get some information about what exactly happened during that hearing. So all that is going on, as well as all the Trump nonsense. And, it all figures in. It all is part of one thing, because he wants to be president again. And the only way, his best defense is to run for president, because if he runs for president, he can set the table any way he wants and get rid of all these problems, because he would be president. And that would be a terrible, terrible thing, because it would put him, Trump, former president, if he won in 2024, it would put him officially above the law. And that's not a democracy. And that's why I say democracy's in recession. We got all this good news about, hey, inflation and gas prices are coming down. We can feel bad. Eggs are coming down. Oh, not so great if you're vegan. How about bringing down the price of fake meat? Fake meat goes way high. It makes me, and you really shouldn't buy fake meat. You should just eat the vegetables. Here's a trick. If you want to eat fake meat, forget the real fake meat. Just eat the little bits, like the vegan jerkies are good. Get them on sale. That's all you need. And then eat your rice and beans. You don't have to gourmet, although you can. There are gourmet ways, gourmet, to eat Israeli couscous. Is that gourmet? It's different. Whole grain Israeli couscous, delicious. Anyway, so so I'm following various different things. We're going to talk about them today. Do this short show. First, I want to talk about my show coming up in August. If you haven't heard, August 12th, Saturday, August 12th, 7 p.m. Thursday, August 17th, 8:30 p.m. And Saturday the 1st, or the 19th rather, Saturday the 19th, August 19th at 1 p.m. It's Emil Amok, lost NPR host, found in the Tenderloin. Yeah. Oh, in San Francisco, at the Exit Theater, 277 Taylor Street. It's right there, kitty corner to Glide, across from Glide. And it's an actual theater. It's a nice, cozy, one-man theater for a one-man audience. Now, maybe there'll be 10 or 12. Maybe I don't know. But come on down, get tickets, go to my amok.com site, grab a link, go to eventbrite.com and put in SF Fringe Festival and Emil Amok, EMIL AMOK, and get your tickets. It's a 1-hour show. I talk about Filipino Americans. I talk about affirmative action. I talk about NPR. I talk about Harvard. I talk about my life as a Filipino American. I don't think you've seen it before. And if you have, it's new every time, because it's organic, it lives. And I haven't done it since the affirmative action ruling at Harvard. So it should be a fun show. There are laugh lines. It's funny. I was listening to a Tom Hanks interview last night. It was on YouTube. And fascinating. I love Tom Hanks, first of all, because here's a guy who grew up not far from where I am. I'm from San Francisco. He's from Oakland. I think he's about a year younger. So accomplished, right? But he talks about how his father worked in the restaurants like I did. But he had to move, and he lived in an apartment in Alameda, and then he moved somewhere else, lived somewhere, and went to Skyline High in Oakland. Terrible student. He said, well, not a terrible student, but he was just not, he wasn't going to college. He ended up going to Chabot Junior College. But he found himself in theater in high school. Now, I didn't find myself in theater in high school. I found myself in debate. Had I found myself in theater in high school, I would have been much different. But the debate guys, they're serious. They're the careerists, right? They're the guys who say, "Oh, I'm going to make partner." This big, and some of them did make partner in big firm, San Francisco, New York, make millions of dollars. Some of them did. Anyway, that was kind of like the crowd I was with. I wish I was with the actor crowd. Didn't discover the actor crowd until I found myself in the debate crowd in college and found myself more comfortable with the actor crowd. But it wasn't an official actor crowd. I guess it was called the American Theater, the Loeb Center there. So they had classes, but you don't major in drama at Harvard. You take your classes. It's sort of like an extracurricular. It's sort of like going to soccer practice in intramural teams, although they have a big stage. Anyway, I did theater there, and that's when I thought, oh, this is fun. And that struck me with what Tom Hanks said. He said, this is the most fun you can have. This is why I do it. But he also said something else. He said, he talked about how he still has self-doubt and how he still battles self-consciousness. Like if you are self-conscious, he says that's the death of acting. Of course, I like to say I'm not acting up here because acting, to borrow a line from Tom Hanks, acting is they're lies, storytelling, truth. And that's what you'll get when you come see Emil Amok, Lost NPR host. San Francisco Fringe, Saturday, August 12th, 7 p.m. Thursday, the 17th, August 17th at 8:30 p.m. And Saturday, the 19th, August 19th at 1 p.m., 277 Taylor Street. Check it out. Exit Theater. Tickets available. Go to amok.com for the link or check out eventbrite.com. Look for San Francisco Fringe, Emil Amok, Lost NPR host, and the Tenderloin. Imagine that. A vegan in the Tenderloin. All right. So the big story today, though, is this, Trump went on social media, made a big deal about how he expects to be arrested and how he's being made a target. So the letter he got on Sunday night, according to Trump, this was from special counsel Jack Smith. It says Trump's a target. But this is the important part. It's not because he tried to pay hush money, right, to a prostitute. It's not because of, mishandling of documents. It's because of efforts to overturn the 2020 election. And this is why we're getting to the real deal here. I mean, look, make no mistake. Mishandling documents, bad. Trying to pay off, hush money to a porn star, bad. But now we're ratcheting up. The crimes get more serious and serious. I mean, and this is not to mention the fourth possibility coming up in Georgia that Attorney General Fani Willis down there is, or DA, excuse me. I don't want to give her a promotion. The DA down there, Fulton County, looking to indict Trump on allegations that he tried to doctor the election in Georgia. I mean, so, the last two, the one in Georgia and this one here now, that looks impending. Trump says he was told to report there by Thursday. But this directly puts him squarely with efforts to overturn the 2020 election, which is really anathema for anyone who wants to be the leader of the free world, the president of the leading democracy, And probably this is the height of my feeling this democracy recession that we are in now. Right? Now, this is going to mean that everyone's going to have to weigh in. I mean, Democrats, remember all the congressmen who are hiding in rooms underneath tables because those January 6 rioters were descending upon the Capitol. I mean, that's serious. I mean, members of Congress were targets of a Capitol attack. And the House voted to impeach. The House voted for accountability. The Senate voted to acquit. So I think you're going to see a different change in attitude if this indictment, it looks like if Trump is getting a target letter, looks like it's happening. Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries of New York tweeted out, "The American people deserve to know the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth." And I think it's very important. Trump announced this before the special counsel could release or say something. And probably it was a preemptive strike because Trump knew that, hey, look, let's kind of water down what's going to happen because I'm not going to show up to my other hearing at Fort Pierce on the Mar-a-Lago document saying, send Walt Nauta. Nauta boy will go there. I mean, that tells you something. Trump didn't show up for that one. Sent his lawyers. Nauta was there. And Nauta's attorney said something for the first time that indicated that maybe they might do something for Nauta. But I think Nauta's only there as a delaying tactic because what the lawyer for Nauta said was essentially that, Nauta may want to make a deal to protect himself if he looks like he's going to get abandoned by Trump. But he's not going to make a deal without knowing all the evidence. And there's some evidence that still is outstanding in discovery, which likely will lead to delay, which is what Trump wants. So what Nauta wants, Trump wants, delay. So that's the Mar-a-Lago case. And that happened today. It's inconclusive what Judge Eileen Cannon's going to do, although she seemed, according to reports, prone to not delaying the trial too much, but she seemed open to delay, not speeding it up to August like she wanted initially, and maybe coming around closer to where the prosecutor wanted, but possibly not until after the election or close to the election, 2024. So, I mean, that's what is at issue with the Mar-a-Lago case. But this new case, it's not really new. It's the one that's like inching along, involving Trump and January 6th. There was on Truth Social, which I don't subscribe to, but Trump puts it out in the news. He say, hey, this is what I put out on Truth Social. Wow, on Sunday night, while I was with my family, having just arrived from the Turning Point event in Florida, where I won the straw poll against all other Republican candidates with 85.7%, with all polls showing me leading in the Republican primary by very substantial numbers. Almost everyone predicting that I will be the Republican nominee for president. And as I am leading Democrat Joe Biden in the polls by a lot, not sure about that. I'd have to fact check that. Horrifying news for our country was given to me by my attorneys. Deranged Jack Smith, always an adjective for Jack Smith. The prosecutor with Joe Biden's DOJ sent a letter. Again, it was Sunday night. Wow, that guy, always working, that Jack Smith. stating that I am a target of the January 6th grand jury investigation and give me a very short 4 days to report to the grand jury, which almost always means an arrest, capital A, and indictment, capital I. So now Joe Biden's Attorney General Merrick Garland, who I turned down for the United States Supreme Court, in retrospect, based on his corrupt and unethical actions, a very wise decision. Well, maybe a wise one for Judge Gorsuch. Terrible decision for the United States. Together with Joe Biden's Department of Injustice, have effectively issued a third indictment and arrest of Joe Biden's number one political opponent, namely me. He doesn't say that, but that's the implication, right? The third indictment and arrest, who is largely dominating him in the race for the presidency. So, we've heard this. He's like, oh, I'm a victim. And of course, he ends this saying, this witch hunt is all about election interference and a complete and total political weaponization of law enforcement. It is a very sad and dark period for our nation. See what I mean? And there are people out there who will listen to this or read this and they'll say, yeah, Trump, yeah. I think there should be a 3 strikes you're out. If the third indictment comes down, I think it's time for the Republicans to say, we're out of here. And I think the middle folks, the middle part of the Republican Party is there already. But, the Trump base, 30, 40%, still in their silos. I still see Trump 2024 signs around where I live. So we'll see what happens here. If he shows up on Thursday, he's taken his action of doing the preemptive strike of announcing to the world that it looks like he's going to get arrested. He fears arrest and then a third indictment. I'm glad because I think 3 indictments, you're out, buddy. We're in America, an American democracy. We don't need indictees running for office. They need to take care of their legal problems. They don't need to become president of the United States. And if to the degree that people don't react and say, hey, that's it, I think what we're talking about is more an example of this democracy recession that our country seems to be in. Because, it won't just be a recession when and if Trump runs and when and if he wins and when and if he does all the things that he says that he will do to the government and the civil service and limiting, political position or making political positions out of these civil service positions to enable him to be above the law. So that nothing that can be that where allegations against him can be easily dismissed because it doesn't apply to him. Read the New York Times, Maggie Haberman's article. That's the Trumpian vision, which is not an American vision, which is not a democratic vision, but could happen if the democracy recession really takes hold. Let us hope it doesn't. All right. I caught wind of a new book. Michelle Norris. I like how Axios puts it. Michelle Norris, the well-known columnist and radio host. They say, that's like a level down from the infamous or the famous, the notorious, the celebrity is like negative. When you say the well-known columnist and radio host, that's like, oh yeah, well-known. Some people know her. Do you know her? She was on All Things Considered. She was the host. Yeah. African-American woman, former Washington Post writer. Her new book asked people to do something unusual. In just 6 words, write about your experience of race in America. It was part of the Race Card Project, which she created in 2010. And her new book comes out January 16th. Here, she got 500,000 responses. I know some of her really close friends who worked on the race car project. They didn't ask me. Anyway, so here's some of the responses. You're pretty for a black girl. I mean, you could probably translate or transpose that to Asian American. You're pretty for an Asian girl. You're pretty for you're handsome for an Asian guy. Let's see how thick your glasses are. You're pretty for a black girl. That was one. Second one. White privilege? Enjoy it. Earned it. So that's race. If you got white privilege and you're not white, ooh, got one over. You enjoy it. You earned it. You earned your white privilege. How'd you get it? Ivy League school? Lady, I don't want your purse. That's an adjunct to, lady, why do you cross the street? No, that's 7. Lady, don't cross the street. Just riffing on what was given here. Here's one. My ancestors massacred Indians near here. I guess that's what people say to Native Americans. I guess that's akin to some of my best friends massacred Indians near here. Here's another one. Urban living has made me racist. Now, can you say suburban living has made me racist? Because I don't see anyone around here. I mean, it's all like it's an 80, 20, 90, 10 world. 80% white, 90% white, 10, 20, everyone else. So that's kind of an adjunct. Suburban living has made me racist. How about this? These are bits from Race Your Story in Words, or no, Race Your Story, 6 words from the Race Car Project. A new book coming out in January, Michelle Norris. Oh, here's the Asian one. I'm only Asian when it's convenient. You know, that's kind of an attitude a lot of Asians have. Like, they're not Asian until they feel the pain. When the going gets tough, the tough go Asian. But I'm only Asian when it's convenient, meaning they know the power of being Asian, but they see it as fluid, race fluid, I guess. Anyway, look for the book, Our Hidden Conversations, coming in January. Like I said, they asked people to say 6 words, race, your story, please send. And I guess it's like, the Hemingway, baby shoes, unworn, that sort of line, that terse sentence. But maybe it'll be a form. Maybe it'll be a Norris. Maybe it'll be a Michelle. People can come up with, these 6 words sums up my race past. I had a couple, let's see. I'll have to work. I had some written down, and let's see here. Where's I can't find that note. All right, I'll share it tomorrow. I'll share it tomorrow. So the last thing I want to talk about today is, so we talked about the Fringe. I was going to talk about Marianne Williamson. You know, I don't really, I don't really endorse her yet. I mean, she, whereas all the other candidates are talking trash about each other, she seems to be wanting to get us to a united table where we're talking to each other. So, you know, you can't falter. You might say, oh, what sort of qualifications does she have? Well, she has a good heart and she's interested in people working together in a real United States. Look, it doesn't sound political, and a lot of people will dismiss her because she's not a policy wonk, but neither was Trump. So this was a meditation from Marianne Williamson, from the, she does a thing on Substack, Transformation, or Transform. The meditation, it's like a minute meditation. Whatever I give to others, I'm giving to myself. What you put out, you get back in return, right? The boomerang effect. I mean, you've heard this. In the mortal world, what I give away is no longer mine. In the spiritual world, only what I give away is mine. If I give anger, I shall know anger. If I give love, then I shall know love. Help me resist, dear God, my projection of blame onto others. For it is only in seeing others as innocent that I can be at peace. Help me to disagree without blame, to shame without criticism, and to debate without demonizing anyone. Oh, now that would be hard. You got to demonize. Demonize with humanity. Make me in all ways a conduit of your love. You know, if you had more people saying, look, we're all about love. We're not about tearing down. We're not about wrecking. We're about helping. But when there are laws that are passed and policies that are passed that will hurt people, kick people off the rolls, stop, the relief that people need on student loans, for example. And some people are very, very happy to have the student loan program, the deferrals end, because they say, oh, there's moral turpitude when you don't pay back your bills. Oh, yeah, tell that to the banks that got a free ride from 2008 from all those bad loans that they made. I mean, it's like I was saying about the Wall Street Journal, when the big news is, hey, Ford's cutting the price of their F-150, the electrical vehicle, $10,000. See, that's news when the companies say, we're going to be less greedy. We're going to be less greedy. But now how about this? This is the power of the consumer. What if the consumer drives down the price by not caring, not giving a darn? And just like, hey, you lowered it 10 when we ignored you. We'll ignore you twice as much and let it drop another 10. EVs, 30,000. That's this EV for 49, EV truck for 59. We'll ignore you, drop the price, and soon enough, there'll be EVs for everyone for about 19.9. Supply and demand. We're going to wreck the demand. They're going to have too much supply. They're going to have to get rid of them. Just a little plot, just giving you an idea. Back to Marianne. She says, Today I bestow peace on others, that I might be at peace. I withhold my judgment, that I not be judged. I extend my love, that love might be forever mine. Whatever I give to others, I am giving to myself. Well, it's all a variation, right? Do unto others. All a variation. We forget that sometimes. And I know I've said, we live in a God optional state. Meaning, we don't force anyone's religion on anybody. Non-denominational, non-sectarian. So it really is whoever your God. But love is love. Love can be God. Love can just be love. You're feeling for one another. You're feeling for humanity. Where is that? How is that in our democracy recession? We seem to be mired in. We gotta get out. Okay, I said I'm trying to go for these shorter shows. Friends of mine are saying, "Hey, look, I listen to your show." What I do is I check it out late at night. I put it on my phone. I either watch it on YouTube or on Facebook, fb.com/emilguillermo.media, or I put it on Twitter or whatever. I just put it on and then I let you put me to sleep, Emil, which is great. Great. I'm happy to be sleeping with you in that profound way. Or I don't know if it's profound. Just talking to you. Anyway, we're here Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Pacific. Sometimes I'm live, or most times I'm live, and sometimes I'll just put out a tape. Replay the last show. This is 559. 558 was a good show. 557, as good, if not better. And 556, always good show. So check out the last few. Get those at amok.com. At amok.com, you can also get the link. Find the link to my my show at the San Francisco Fringe starting August 12th, 7 p.m. Just 3 shows. August 12th, August 17th at 8:30 p.m., Saturday the 19th at 1 p.m. So all different times. You can catch this new Amok monologue. I mean, it's new, it's authentic, it's real stories. God, that Tom Hanks interview was really good. I mean, because he really laid it on the line in terms of, he still has self-doubt. He's still understanding the difficulty that is there when you adopt a character. But he understands that when he plays these great, tremendous guys, he doesn't hold a candle to their life because they've done the hard stuff. He's just remembering life. He's an actor. It's the fun part of life. I like Tom Hanks. Bay Area guy. Makes it look easy. All right. So, we like to meditate. We all always like to close our show with a little loving kindness. And so, as I wish for me, I wish for you. May you be safe. May you be happy. May you be healthy. And may you live with ease. Emil Guillermo here. Till next time. Mahal Kita.